Oof.
What's up, everybody?
I didn't even put the music in the background, fam. But what is up, y'all? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of Dietyeradio, the number one podcast in the motherfucking world. I don't care what none of y'all niggas got to say. This is the best podcast out right now. My name is Salat, or you can call me Saw. I done doxed myself. Damn. But it's all
Damn.
good. My name is Saw. You can follow me on Instagram at official.saw. You can also um I messed up the whole thing. But here we go. My name is you already know my name. This is Dietyeradio. Radio. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at Dietyradio. Radio. All the information is at the bottom of the motherfucking screen. Oh, and you can see the rest of our, Instagrams right there. But everybody else introduce yourselves while we still here.
Hey y'all, I'm Kayla. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Kaylamon, KAYY_LAMON. Also down there.
Yep. As you can see, all of our information is down below, but I'm going to tell you who I am. Hey, it's me, Mocha. You can follow me on Instagram at Mocha Badu. And please like and share and follow. Subscribe to our Instagram, Twitch, and freaking YouTube, please.
Yup. Make sure y'all do all that. So today a little nice little topic we want to talk to y'all about, or a question we want to ask each other, or something relevant in the current events that's going on right now. Now I know everybody on the doggone world has heard about you know Kanye West and the comments that he made, and also the big infamous the White Lives Matter T-shirt that he was wearing. We're going to talk about what he said, and dive deep into how we feel about what Dog said about what he said, and what he said. So, without further ado, let's get started. What's the first question? The first question is actually no. Let's not even talk about what's the question. Let's just, what do y'all think about what happened or what he said? What do y'all think about him wearing this White Lives Matter T-shirt?
You want to go
Um,
first, Kayla?
yeah, I can start. I think it was just super controversial. And if it wasn't, it doesn't bother me seeing White Lives Matter on the shirt. I can only speak for me. I don't care. I feel like if we can have Black Lives Matter, they can have a white lives. It can be a blue lives. It can be an Asian lives. It can be whatever you want on your shirt. Because if it's important to you, go for
Freedom
it.
of speech.
Yeah, but I do feel like this was. I don't know if Kanye like wanted the clout. If he wanted well, he don't need clout, so I don't know if he just wanted to just
But
be
he is
more
known for,
controversial himself.
doing shit like
Oh,
this.
hold on,
Yeah,
Mocha, hold on.
Sorry,
he
sorry.
is literally known for stuff like this. So
We're gonna
this is
get to that.
probably just another Kanye stunt because who else gonna be as honest as Kanye and say what they feel without? I can't say without repercussions because I think they took his Instagram, but he still don't care. So I like the fact that he can always be himself in the room, regardless of what other people would think.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to say, Mocha?
Um, I feel what Kayla's saying. He's known for doing shit like this in the past. This is not the only reason why it's so triggering for most people, especially in the black community. We have been trying to defend Black Lives Matter because obviously we feel oppressed. Most of us do. And when people come, their comeback is typically, oh, what about white lives? What about all lives? And what most people have said, it's not the fact that all lives don't matter. It's the fact about Black lives have not really mattered to this country as much as every other life. And it kind of shows very often with police brutality how we'll either go missing, get killed by the police, or something tragic happens to us and it does not reach the news, it doesn't hit social media, it gets shut down, it gets taken down, and that's the end of the story for us. But if it was somebody else, if it was any other life besides black, it would hit the news, it would have been public, and people would be very concerned about it and be like, oh, we're so sorry for the victims and yada, yada, yada. However, I'm not going to say that he was trying to be inclusive. He was just trying to be controversial, and that's just Kanye West because he's
Right.
known for doing stuff like this.
Okay.
However, I can understand why most people are triggered by the T-shirt and what most people correlated to.
I think it represents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
However, I think he knew that. I think he knew and didn't care
Yeah, definitely.
I was
because
gonna.
that's Kanye.
I would. Yeah. I was gonna say like uh, agreeing with what Mocha said. Kanye is known for doing stuff like this to get people's attention. He wants people to talk about something that he feels strongly about. Just like a perfect example, "Lift Yourself." That song that he dropped, "Poopity Scoop, Scoopity Whoop." That you know what I'm saying. He dropped that song just so people could like talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, How do I want to word this? I had the comment in my head. It's like I watched this video, and I think I want to pull it up, but it's this guy from I watched it. It's from the channel Viral Hip Hop News, and it's this guy named Nuri Muhammad, and he's talking about how he feels about the comments that Kanye made. Before I get into that, um, I believe that he didn't wear that shirt out of spite for black people, because like what Kayla said, it really doesn't matter what the shirts say. In the end, all lives do matter, whether it's white, black, Latino, Asian, blue, yellow, red, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's lives matter. So, but in regards to how social media has been reacting to uh, Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter and All Lives Matter, everybody's taking what or taking the shirt and taking the situation and blowing it out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, well, when he said there's a bunch of other things that he said that this doesn't really sit right with the world, but at the same time, some some of the stuff, I'm not gonna say all, but some of the stuff he was saying was true, was right.
I
Now he
think a
didn't.
lot of
What
the
he
stuff.
You think a lot of stuff?
I think a lot of the stuff he be saying, he be spot on. I think that the rest of I think that he's a very smart man, and he either listens to things a lot deeper, or he just knows a lot more than like the average person because he's around a lot more than the average person. But I don't think he just say anything. Like, I think that he has an issue with translating it to normal people, but I definitely don't think that anything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. And if it is, or if it's any confusion, I think that he can clear it up, or he can at least apologize for his confusion, or he can take accountability for it. But I don't think he be lying about nothing. He let come out that little mouth of his. He could just say it wrong, which is why I always say like he needed like a translator. It's like sometimes it's like he's speaking a foreign language, and it just be like, "What? He crazy," and it be like, if you look at some of the stuff,
And
he don't be
listen,
that crazy all the time. He be spot
yeah.
on
Yeah.
sometimes.
I wanted to play this video, and it's talking about the things it's talking about what my man's thought about what he said about the anti-Semitic things that he said. So I want to pull it up real quick.
Fair use. fair use. We're using this for educational purposes.
Well, yeah, we're all gonna be in this video. So, how do I pull it up? Tab. There we go. Boom. This is what he had to say.
You just break down the term anti-Semitic and why, when it comes to when we as a people just have opposition toward the powers that be, and most of the time that happens to be people from the Jewish community, why they seem so hell-bent on not only calling us anti-Semitics, but just not even having a conversation around, hey, these brothers seem to be claiming that they are the true children of Jerusalem, the true Jewish
He
people. They
he, he
never want
takes
to
it
have that
real deep.
conversation. Can you kind of
That's right.
expound on that?
Well, it is a simple view of the dictionary of the word Semite, and it speaks of a Semite being one of an Afro or African origin or of the Arab population. So in that context, we are the real Semites. So to be anti-Semitic means to be anti yourself. The thing that happens is they use this term as a way of muzzling and shutting people and putting you really into a social prison by which you will never have a platform to express yourself. Do you know that Oprah Winfrey has been called anti-Semitic? Did you know that Martin Luther King was labeled anti-Semitic? Frederick Douglass was labeled anti-Semitic. Desmond Tutu was named anti-Semite. Mandela was labeled an anti-Semite. Go look up the names. If the list is so long, anybody that's ever stood up, Marcus Garvey was labeled anti-Semitic. So most of the times when it comes to Black people, anybody that does or tries to promote something good for us as a people, they find a way to twist it and make it against them. It's a magic trick that they're performing. One of the things that should be looked at
once he
is
finishes his point, I
when
guess
Kanye West made the statement and he said, I think that I'm going DEFCON 3 or something. So look up what DEFCON 3 stands for.
Yes, sir.
It is a military maneuver wherein you are putting yourself in a position not of offensive against something, but in defensive and being prepared for whatever they've got coming for you. So there's a lot that needs to be studied. And I think that there should be some measure of weight put on one of the latest interviews that our brother made, where he talked about the drugs that they were giving him. He said that the drugs that they were giving him and the drugs that they give in the form of a psychoanalyst, as soon as they consider you to be bipolar, schizophrenic, or have any mental illness,
he was trying to say
the first
about
thing
him
they
too.
want to do is drug you. He said that he believes that they were given, the drug they gave him and are given to us is designed to murder the creativity that exists in the mind.
All right, I'm gonna go back now. Before we go forward into talking about that, what do y'all think about what he just said?
That was a lot to digest.
Hold on, I missed the part where I was actually trying to show you guys. And now there's an advertisement. One second, but what do y'all think about what he just said? While I find this part.
But I watch him a lot. For the most part, I enjoy what he say, but that was just a lot. When you think about it.
Here we go. Wait. Hold on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah, here, I'm about to pull it right back up. All right, this is what he said.
We see from Kanye West. I think there needs to be a deeper analysis of some of the things that might be causing what people condemn as an effect. And instead of attacking the effect, let's attack the causes. Of course, you seen him in the shirt, White Lives Matter, and everybody went crazy over that. And the real truth is that, of course, we are sensitive to hear such a statement or see such a statement on the back of a shirt of a black man or a white man, because it has been a rebuttal statement for Black Lives Matter. And the reason we in 2015 came up with the slogan that Black Lives Matter is because the way we were treated by the police, prosecutors, judges, and society in general, we were treated as if y'all don't think our lives matter. There are no white Trayvon Martins. There are no white Tamir Rices or white Sandra Blands. There are no white Freddie Grays. We are the only ones. There are no black police vigilantes going out killing white teenagers in white communities, but you have white ones doing that to us. So we said Black Lives Matter because the world obviously didn't see that. White lives matter is what he had. Is it true? Yes, all lives do in fact matter, because all life comes from one source, God himself. And anything that is in existence is by the permissive will or the active will of God himself. So anything that exists does matter. But we are hurt and offended as a people because we see him saying that at a time when we're trying to make it clear that we are faced with injustice. But white life mattered to God for him to bring it into existence. Black life matters to God for us to bring it, him to bring it into existence. So technically, the slogan, the shirt, is not a false statement. It's just the connotation or the commonly accepted definition of most people that say white lives matter. They're saying it as a response, rebuttal to Black Lives Matter. And most of the time, it's coming from the mind of a racist white person that wants to do some harm to black people. Truth is, though, all life does in fact matter, and we are headed toward a world whenever there will be no tyranny, oppression, no injustice, no wickedness that exists anymore, and we won't have to wear any shirts or slogans, because all life will matter that exists to those that are allowed to survive this great calamity that's coming on this world. All right. When the new world begins, all
that's enough about that.
Well, we have somebody who's pretty confused.
What do you mean?
Does he just add himself in?
I think so.
You're.
Yeah, I'm here.
What would the confusion be about?
I see.
Miscellaneous.
What up, Z? What up, Z?
Before
we get a little bit into this, what's your name, bro? You just pop in like you just.
Who you are?
Who is you? Who is?
They know who I am. It's all right. They know who
this
I
is Z. This is Z. You follow on Instagram at Z Huno. It's right there. It's down there. You know
no, you gotta
say
it.
But let's get some clarification and some answers for this person right here. What you confused on, baby? What's the deal?
Well, let me ask, what did y'all think about what y'all just watched first? While she's giving us her,
like, it's not. I think it's only hard to digest for the people that want it to be hard. It's really simple. I guess it is how you like how life has affected you, I guess. Because like if life was like, if you've dealt with a lot like of oppression or whatever the case may be, or inequalities, and then you see that shirt, then it might trigger some stuff. But at some point you gotta just not be so triggered. Like, nobody owes you nothing because you're triggered. Because yes, in fact, their lives do matter just as much as our lives matter. So it doesn't matter. Well, for me personally, it doesn't bother me too much. Not even. Yes, ma'am.
We'll never know. We'll never know exactly what Kanye West was thinking when he put on that shirt. We'll never know unless he
told us.
Oh, he told us. What'd he say? What'd he say?
It was the fact of, and that's why we came up with this question of inclusive or exclusive, because he told it where it was to prove a point against the whole situation. Even what the Muhammad dude was bringing up, which by the way, he's a Islam dude, part of the Nation of Islam and everything like that. For the person who didn't know who he was, but um that was his thing where he was telling him like, "Hey, yo, fam, the society itself is being pushed an agenda so hard that y'all don't even realize who's pushing the agenda." Right. So, prime example of Black Lives Matter, which we've had this conversation before. The 2015, he brought it up. Where 2015, that was the basis of the foundation of Black Lives Matter. But as time went on, you start to realize that a lot of the foundation of Black Lives Matter started to change, especially in different cities and different people. So they all had their own basis of it, but they all started doing their own different things. Prime example of that is when people started coming asking about the money. Like prime example, George Floyd's family and certain people, family members of Breonna Taylor and all of them, where there was money, GoFundMe's that was made for them that they never received the money. The families are still asking for the money, but yet you see the CEOs. There was one I think in North Carolina, and another one I forgot where she was from that end up buying multi-million-dollar homes from this stuff. And now their taxes are starting to come out where you're starting to see they're just spending money on a bunch of crap. Like
Yep.
there were, I believe Candace Owens herself came out with a documentary,
Yep.
which
She
Mocha,
did a
you sent me this,
documentary
but
about it.
Yeah.
where she's literally making a documentary about it, about how, bro, they're spending money on liquor and then on drugs and on prostitutes and
Yep.
on multi-million-dollar homes. Like these are not people spending money wisely on you. Now, my issue with the whole, which I told this to Mocha about that whole documentary, is that it's the wrong person giving you the documentary. She's always
Yes.
been biased against Black Lives Matter. So it's like, why am I using someone who's been biased towards it to prove a point? Like you already been told us you hate it. So I'm not finna sit here and listen to you tell me why you hate it so bad. Like, but it doesn't negate that she was right. So it was like, bro, it comes with that situation. That's what he was trying to show is like, bro, that this agenda is being pushed a lot to where, and even like the Islam dude said, he's not the first person to say this. I was talking about this earlier. Ice Cube was another rapper who was saying this. Tupac was another one who was saying this. Um,
Mhm.
David Banner was another one who was saying this, where he got blackballed because he started saying this stuff and everything like that. This been going. Ray Charles, Lil Richard, um, Frankie Lyman, like this has been happening for years, and that's just in the music industry. Imagine in sports, and with athletes, boxing. Boxing used to be a heavy thing that they used to do to black people, where they'll make you go box 10 fights in one night, and you'll get paid for one
Hmm.
and you didn't even know why. You just got all this fame around you, and they tell you the world champ, and you don't even know you broke. Jack Johnson is another one where that happened to him. If y'all ever heard that story, go look up that story of Jack, the very first black sports mogul, famous for boxing, and he went broke because of the people around him wouldn't teach him how to be better. So and it was a bunch of white people pushing him into doing stuff. So and I'm not saying it like where it's against, but you can tell from the situation of it sells a lot of things that the information that we had from the beginning has been switched. Like people don't know that we were really the original. You obviously you hear with the Israelites, they say it all the time. We're the original Jew. To an extent, they're correct. To an extent they're correct. Like that's why I'm like, okay, people don't understand that, but because we're so emotional towards it because of what we hear, the stories and the behind of why Black Lives Matter is, that we stick to that versus sticking to what have they been doing lately. We stick to the old story of why we doing it versus what's going on. I'm gonna shut
Mhm.
up now, let y'all talk. I've been talking for a minute.
That's
No,
exactly.
no,
No,
you
you
good.
good, bro. You was giving us some good
You's
information,
And
you's
man.
that's why I
giving the people
said
information.
Well,
you
you ain't
definitely.
gotta put that up, fam. Yeah, this is
Yes,
about
I'm gonna
I
say
comedy.
it a
think
little
your
bit.
whole
With it,
discussion,
so
the whole your whole statement answered all her questions. Hopefully,
Yeah, she was
hopefully,
just a
yeah,
little confused because she was saying
she didn't know
she
what we
didn't
was
know that it
talking
was
about. She
about
popped in
it was
yep.
late.
about Kanye.
She was
To all the
confused, but
people
she
that's
still
popping
stayed.
in late, that is this question. Well, this episode is about Kanye West and his anti-Semitic comments, or in the T-shirt that he wore the White Lives Matter T-shirt. We're talking about all that today. That's what we're talking about. For all the people that ain't here yet, and for the people that's coming in.
But that's why I think that it's so important to let your emotions go, because as you look back in time, all people, our people was just so and still are so damn emotional. It ain't no reason to
Mm,
fight fire with fire. So yeah, you can
I
go
feel
off
like
a little bit, but to fight fire with fire is dumb. Like ain't nothing gonna change with that. And to be emotional, you just get manipulated way faster. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody as big as everybody makes it seem like race is like a big factor. Either you're rich enough to be racist or you're not. Like so the average
Either
person,
you're rich enough to be
rich
racist.
enough to be racist.
that's the
Nah.
truth. Like it's because honestly, because if you think about it, it's classism at
She
this
said
point.
you got to
I
be
wouldn't
rich
call
to be
it.
Yo,
racist.
fam,
You do because if you're not, then it's
Kayla,
like it's
I'm gonna be
classism.
Let's
so honest with you.
Like
I don't mean to interrupt you, Kayla, but that is such a up north answer. I'm not even gonna count you. Like
listen, and no, I'm about to tell you why I
Nah,
say that
ain't even no
because
up north answer,
because
nigga.
let
that's
me
up
tell you why
north.
though because if my next door neighbor make the same amount of money as me and we in the same tax bracket, it does not matter that they are white. You don't have enough money to where your life is as important as the man is making all the rules. So some shit pop off, we still just gonna be workers, boo. You don't have enough money to be up there. So I'm not gonna say your little life don't matter, but it don't matter
She
to the big
said you
dogs.
broke, nigga. You can't afford to be racist to me.
Literally. And then the people that are racist that can afford it,
Yeah.
they just pay to get the job done, and that's it. You're an investment, and so it's just like that's all. Like
I'm
if
rich, bitch.
like
I say
we're
nigga as
normal
many
common.
times as I want, nigga.
Tell that to
So
the redneck.
I
I'm not
get
saying
what
it's
Kayla's
okay.
saying.
What
I
it
get
doesn't
it.
matter is it can be bought. You don't got enough money.
Like,
Like me and the person down the street, you can't make me feel no way. Not that the richer person can, but the homie down
mm-hmm.
the street can't make me feel no way to where it's just like, yeah, I'm about to beat your ass because you said some racist shit to me. You don't have enough money to be racist. We're in the same boat. Like some shit was to pop off. You gonna need financial government assistance the same way I would need financial government assistance. You can't do shit no different than me. You can't make me feel anyway. And then big dog up there can't make me feel no way because
And
the people
realistically,
down
that
here
person is
keep your
just
shit
as
running. So it
disposable
don't
as
matter.
you.
So I
I
feel
feel
like it's more
what
so classism instead of racism now. Like don't get me wrong,
classism.
the little dummies be running around and they're racist. But the bigger picture is more so about classism. Either you're gonna have enough money to be able to do XYZ for you and your family, or you're not. And regardless of your color, shit not gonna matter. It's not gonna be like, oh, you white? Okay, we're gonna bring you right in our arms because you look like us. No, you're just a loudmouth idiot. Woohoo. And you're gonna be one of their workers if they need it. I mean, it's not gonna matter. And
I
that's
see
it.
where you
I
trying
see
to
it.
go. Where
Yeah.
you
That's
trying
it.
to go.
It doesn't matter. So I think this race it's just easier to keep the people fueling if you throw some race in there. Not that race doesn't matter. I'm not saying that, but it's way easier to just be like, let's fight about black and white because you don't
It's
know the
easier to
history because
control people when
we
they're
burn.
emotional.
Thank you because we burned all the light berries down and we told y'all history is XYZ and y'all not gonna go look for it anyways. And we can make y'all feel like this if y'all just watch enough TV. So boom, this is how we can keep y'all fighting because nobody's gonna read anything, nobody knows anything, and we're just gonna tell y'all what we want. Now fight because it's black and white. And it's the easiest thing to fucking do. So that's why I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's about racism. Like it's just easier to control people because the black community is so emotional and just like, oh my God, whoop de whoop. And then the white people already feel like, oh, well, the government has always made us look like X, Y, and Z. So, I mean, like, can we really do any wrong? And, you put those two people in a room together, you got chaos. And what's better than chaos? It's easy. It's super easy to do. So I
And,
think that
and here's the thing: you can make money off of chaos.
literally,
You
and
can't.
that's
You
shout
can't
out to
make
Black Lives
money
Matter
off of
because
happy people, and that is the most
thank
saddest,
you,
truthful thing
thank
ever.
you. And shout out to Black Lives Matter because they're doing a very good job of making money off of people's emotions and people's unhappiness
You gonna
and
shout
not
him out?
doing shit about
She said,
those
"Shout
that
out
that
Black
She
Lives
gonna
Matter."
shout him out. Shout out to Black Lives Matter for
shout
repping the
them out
actual quota.
because they did it and they're still doing it. And what's crazy is they're probably still gonna be doing it for a decent amount of time because people are still gonna be people. Cause the community that Black Lives Matter ain't never did nothing for the community that they supposed to.
And it's more evident now, but because we're so emotional and we're so based on the original quote, we're so stuck on the original quota that they had. We're not, like Z said, we're not actively saying, hold up now, this ain't right. Hold up, wait a minute now, pause. What's this? This ain't what we agreed to. Where my money? Where my cash? Where
And you
my
really
hope?
just gotta understand that not all skin folk is skin folk. Like it's okay. Which is
Mm,
why you got black people that are like, and I say racist and prejudice in high air quotes. But you know you got black people to be like, oh, well, I'm better than because XYZ, and it's not like it's because of classism.
baby, you got a lot of skills to pay the bills, and realistically, not everybody like you. So
Thank you.
that's totally fine. But you're gonna sit your little ass down somewhere and be respectful, because when I get to your position and I get higher than your position, you're gonna be looking at me the same way. However, because I'm merciful, I ain't gonna treat you like you did me, though I should.
Look at that grace. But yeah. It's really not that hard to understand. People just be emotional, and it's super easy to just keep conversation going and keep controversy, and keep the community, our community especially, like on edge. When you can see a shirt that says "White Life Matter" and the whole community is pissed. Everybody's just like,
Like,
"Oh
oh,
my goodness,
oh
I
my
did
I
not
will
say."
admit, I was
God.
sending people, but once I stopped and thought about it and was like, it's Kanye. What am I supposed to expect? This was gonna
Not
happen
only
eventually.
that,
Take it seriously from the
It's not
beginning.
even
I,
in me,
I,
my
I saw that. I was
opinion.
like,
It's
oh,
not
okay.
even that, but I had to
And
really talk myself off a ledge of being emotional and actively think of the person this is, why they're doing it, and the whole reason is one, you want our attention. Why do you want our attention? Because you want us to see what we're actually doing. The reason for all the whole mess that we put ourselves in every freaking time. This is why we can't get progress.
for me, I ain't
This
even
is
care.
why we
I was
can't
just
have no
like, oh, he
change.
said that, like, because they lives matter. Woohoo! Like, go get y'all a shirt. Make that man
I
some
mean,
The
money.
it's
only
not wrong.
problem,
Shit.
the only problem that I had with what Kanye West said was when he said that George Floyd didn't
yeah, he did
die.
too much with all that.
He said he died from a fentanyl overdose. I
But
was
no,
like,
overdose.
what?
Yeah,
You
he did
know?
too
What?
much with all
It's
that.
like, nigga,
That's what he
what?
said?
Yeah,
Um,
he
He
said
brought that
George
up
Floyd
too.
died of a fentanyl
He
overdose instead
apologized
of.
for it too, but he did. He said that.
he apologized for confusion. He didn't. Haven't seen the whole clip, so that's why I ain't got too much to say. But I did see his apology, and it was more so because like he confused people, and so like I would like to go back to the video that he's referencing, and I want to see that, and then I also want to watch like his full interview because I didn't get to see that. So
Mm.
I don't know. I can't really speak much
We'll
about
send
that.
you a link.
That was wild.
Because
That was a wild thing to say, but
that is
Yeah,
a very
and when
wild
they
thing
start,
to say.
I only heard about it because they put out a $250,000 lawsuit against Kanye for
oh,
saying that. Yeah, the
I,
Floyd family. Yeah, but there's some other things that some other little breadcrumbs that they ain't saying about this lawsuit. But we'll talk about that after the show because
yeah.
I don't want to bring it on and then I'll be wrong. So we're gonna
yeah,
talk
that's
about
why
that
I
after
ain't got
the
too much to say.
Uh-huh.
show.
I
But
think the sooner
yeah,
people can understand to just like get out of their face about stuff, the better we be as a community though. Like, and then I think people forget that like I don't know, people always be like black people can't be racist, but I think that they can definitely be prejudiced
No,
because
we can.
if a shirt can piss you off like that, then aren't you doing the same thing that those people did to you to
Yo,
make you feel
let
like
me.
this? Aren't you doing the same thing? Like if you seeing a shirt that says "White Lives Matter" pisses you off to be like "Black
Like,
Lives," whoopty
man,
whoop.
let
That's
me tell
literally
you.
doing the opposite reverse of what they do. When they see a Black Lives Matter shirt and they be like, "But white lives matter too," and whoopty whoop too, and it's just like
Bro,
everybody's doing the same thing.
I can't stand when black people say that little line that black people can't be racist because in order to be racist, you had to have an advantage over another race. I'm like, what are you talking about? We use it all the time. You'll see someone who's not black come live in our community and have a business in our community. They'll lose their mind so fast. Let the little Arabs, one of them, come over here and build their own little business here. Y'all ready to burn it down the first chance you get. You seen it all the time. When they just
Yeah,
got mad, you just like, wow, you that don't sound a little racist. Nah, I can't be racist because you
that's
had
what
to
I
be
mean, and I really
systematically.
want black people to understand that. Like,
It's
y'all be
I
doing
don't
the same
think
shit that y'all don't like
So
to
here's the
other
thing.
I
people.
think I think people don't understand the definition between racism and prejudice, because being prejudiced
I don't
is
think
you
that's
don't
it.
like,
I
you
think
have a
it's
preconceived notion about that other person or that other race. And
mm-hmm.
racism is you think you're better than them. You think your race is better than that, or you think you are better than this person. And that's, I mean, that's the short simplified version of racism versus prejudice. I just looked it up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Good
Google's my
job.
best friend. You feel
Well,
me? But
Good job.
prejudice is more of me prejudging you based off of what I think
yeah,
of you, right?
yeah,
Or what I'm thinking based off of you versus racism is just saying basically off of your skin color, I think you ain't shit.
you ain't shit, and I'm better than you. You are beneath me. Ain't
Because of
Mm-hmm.
your
nobody.
skin color.
Your
Now,
whole culture is beneath me.
there was something
That's
else that y'all
racism.
brought up earlier that I wanted to address on where, oh yeah, our community issue is that we want to be the oppressed ones in the group all the time. we
Mm-hmm.
we
That
can't we
pisses
don't
me
want to
off.
not
So
be oppressed. Like
so bad.
that is our ticket to everything. If we can't be oppressed in the room, we have a problem. We always want our story to be the biggest story of oppression, and especially in our community where we force that way too hard to the point where if anything goes against our oppression, we lose our mind. So that's why you see a lot of people, especially a lot of black people now these days, they're like, bro, what are we oppressed about? And when you hear people ask that question, you see the ones they just lose their mind. Especially, and I'm gonna be real. I don't even like being political, but it be more like those extreme liberal people that be
Mm-hmm.
trying to, like, when you have those conversations with them, they just lose their mind and they can't have debate, they can't have discussion, they can't discuss nothing with nobody who thinks differently from them. So they just, and even there's some conservative people that do that too. But from my perspective of seeing it, it's been mostly liberals where you can't have no conversation with them at all about nothing. They just want the oppression, they want the sympathy, they want the empathy of the stories and the sadness and everything to prove their point.
Not
And then
at
when
all.
you show them that it don't prove their point, and you show them, well, hey, bro, you're really not as oppressed as you thought you were, and you're just repeating stories that you heard from a movie or a TV show, or your grandma, or this, that, and the third. You always notice that too. They always bring up a random story that goes with what they talking about. Like just saying, you like, well, that's not how the world works. Like that's not how that works. Like your one story doesn't define the rest of the world. Like well, it does in my life. And it's like, okay, well, you just want oppression. Like you just want to be able to tell your oppression to the world and let people and want people to pat you on the back every 10 seconds. It's okay, boo boo. It's
No.
okay.
No, and now and that also people are mis interpreting the definition of oppression, because oppression means prolonged, cruel or unjust control, like somebody's controlling you and putting you down for an extent for a long period of time. I feel like in today's society, in today's world,
Oh,
2020,
just one
especially
no.
2022,
One
we
no, it's
ain't.
oppression. One no. One motherfucker say no, it's oppression. I swear to
Yeah,
God.
no, that's not oppression. No, no, you're not getting. Nobody is oppressed nowadays.
No.
I feel like
I
if
wouldn't
it,
say nobody.
I,
I think our governments can be a little, our laws can be a little oppressive. Um,
to what extent? In I mean, okay,
to
we can argue that in if you want to go down that route, there's some laws that are very unjust, especially towards uh our community. But in the overall grand scheme of things, that's just one
day to
piece.
day life is okay.
You
Yes,
feel me?
yes, we can live.
you
Like
know, everybody has equal
it's not
opportunity.
awful. Yes, for the most part.
You
I
know,
would say
Like our
even
day to
more than
day,
most. I'd say
yeah,
more than
but
most.
it's
exactly.
You speak of two
our day to
equal.
day, our day-to-day lifestyles or journeys isn't just like, oh my God, well, like I had
You
to sit
not
at the back of the bus because XYZ, or I'm not
right.
getting paid as fair as my white counterpart. Like, for the most part, we're doing okay out here. Can our laws be better? Yes. Can certain things be better? Yes. For the most part, we're doing fine. Relax, everybody. Is it still unfair? Yes. Does racism still exist? Yes. Are
100%.
we okay?
However,
Yes.
because we allow racism to exist, we allow it to get to us every single time. And realistically, yes, there's a certain extent where you shouldn't allow it, especially when it gets physical. But realistically, it's not as bad as our ancestors had to go through it.
And
Oh, it's coming completely different.
that's why I said when Kayla said her it be the neighbor or this person, this and the third, or they just be in the secretive racism thing. That's why I said it's a up north thing, because down south that's not a thing. There's no secretive racism, as in their race is in your face. If they don't like you,
Mm.
they gonna let you know they don't like you. Versus
Oh
up
yeah.
north, you might have somebody around you that
Mm,
you don't
no,
even know
that's
they're racist for real, until they really just randomly came out one day and got caught up in a video or got caught up in a situation that said something. No, they down here, they let you know up front. Like, if you'll know up front they don't like you, if they don't like you for your race, they gonna let it be known. Like, hey, you black mother, they gonna do it. Okay. I'm real.
No,
bro.
for
What did this
real.
guy say? What did the dude say, bro? I gotta show y'all a video. I think I sent it to y'all where the dude was walking around as a police officer and he was going to the gun ranges and shoot. Bro, that just was so
Oh
funny.
yeah, I remember you sent us that
He said he
video.
said, what did he say? You gorilla. He said you banana loving gorilla monkey. I was like, what?
Like, bro, that's real. Like, they really do that. Like, to the point, like, even down south, there's certain things, like, for example, Jim Crow laws back in the day. Like, there was certain unspoken laws that just wasn't even laws. Like, they was just part of the
Or
way of
how
society.
Yeah.
we
You
used
feel
to
me?
be we used to get 1/3 of a vote as a
Like,
person.
see,
That
that
shit
that
was
that was an
weird.
actual law, but I'm talking about Jim Crow laws was something that was not even a actual law. They just made it a thing to where it was just part of society. So segregation was not really supposed to be a thing for real, until
Mm-hmm.
it became a law with the Supreme Court and everything, and then that's when they tried to change it back and say, okay, we can't segregate you necessarily, and then they said, nah, we finna just do Jim Crow, where we go separate it without necessarily saying you can't be in the same room. So we're gonna put you in the same room. We just gonna put y'all way in the back. And that's
Mm.
how they did it, where it was unspoken laws of doing stuff, to where you you never heard the
Or you
saying,
couldn't look
a
at a
law is
white
a law,
girl.
but an unspoken
You
breaking
couldn't.
a law is one thing, but breaking an unspoken law is even worse. If y'all never heard that, that's a real thing where they'll say that. That's breaking a unspoken law, an unwritten law is even worse.
I think, and this brought up this. Y'all know the movie Till about to come out soon.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
heard
heard.
about the Emmett Till story? They
Yeah, I
came
heard
out with a
about
Mm.
movie for it,
I think it's
and
called
that's
Mania.
gonna really. It's called Till.
Yeah, or something like that. I think it's by his mom. That's what I'm saying.
And this movie is really gonna show people like what really happened, and it's gonna open up a lot of people's eyes to what the world used to be and how far we've come today. I mean, we're still not where we should be, but it's way better than what was going on back then. I actually saw a video. I know I keep saying this. I pretty much live on YouTube, but I
Don't we
watched a
all?
video. Right, I watched a video the other day. It was about it was this kid. He made a video on why he hate when people say I was born in the wrong generation. He hates when people say that, because if you really think about it, as a black person, we would not want to be.
No, it's not that.
we
It's
we
not
grew
that.
up
You know
in the
what it
right
is?
we
You
grew up in the right generation, because
you know what
back
it is? You know
then.
what it is? When black people
What
be
is it?
saying I wouldn't have been a slave back in the day because I would have been killed early. Shut your stupid behind up, bro. Like I hate when people say that. Like you sound
I
so
ain't never heard
ignorant
that
and
actually.
disrespectful to your history. Like, no, you wouldn't. You would have got whooped and beat into slavery and whooped into a position to do what you need to do, just like everybody else did. You ain't that much of a savage. You only saying that because you know the history of what happened now after. You wasn't part of that when it was there. No, and you don't even understand that you had your bro. It was so different. Like people don't understand their history. You had your own people trading you off, so it
Thank
wasn't
you.
like you just randomly
Thank
had
you.
you just walking around here.
Yeah,
These white people came and
Thank you.
grabbed you. No, they had even
no.
that prime
Thank
example,
you.
It was in. It was in. What was that
the
movie?
movie The Woman King. Y'all
What?
remember that movie that came out with Viola Davis,
Woman
The Woman
King.
King, right?
That was
Mm.
That
such a good movie.
movie it's based now. That movie is based off of a real story, right? The people who made the story, who made that movie, was two white women who came and just took the story and made their own little thing with it. So half of that shit in the movie is not true, okay? But the reality of that story, they were slave traders. They were that whole scenario. What they were doing they were trading slaves. They were trading their own people. They were
Hmm.
grabbing tribes and and trading tribes.
There
But
was a
everyone didn't.
movie.
They skipped that
Was
part.
that
No one wanted to put
was
that
that
part in
12
the
Years a
movie and
Slave?
tell that. Huh?
No. What? It was a movie I saw not too long ago. I'm not. I think it was. It might have been 12. No, it wasn't 12 Years a Slave. But he he was getting initiated into the initiation to become a man, and his dad had beef with another clan or another dude in the clan, and he decided to sell his son into slavery, and they all from the same clan. Right after initiation, they kidnapped them and sold the the leader's son into slavery, which was the main character, and he had to figure out. I forgot what movie that
I
was.
think I know
It
what you're
might have
talking.
been, yeah, because he was supposed to go to school. He was supposed to go to college to in a whole nother South Africa. He was supposed to go to college in South Africa, and they kidnapped him before he could even go and sent and sold him into slavery. His own peoples. I
Yep.
forgot what movie that was.
Yep.
But
They
yeah, that
do it,
happen all
man.
the time, and that's why people need to stop being so emotional. And that goes back to not all people that look like you are for you. And so people be like, "Oh my God, the colonizers, the colonizers, the colonizers," and they be like, "Oh my God, I wish y'all do some fucking reading because our same people sold us. Because why not? Everybody had slaves. Black people had black slaves. Everybody had slaves. If you had enough money." That's why it goes back to the class system. If you have enough money, you can have whatever you want in this thing called life. You have enough money, you can have a slave regardless of what color they are. Everybody had slaves. So everybody like, oh my God, we were so enslaved, and we were kings and queens, and Egyptians had slaves too. Black people had slaves too. Everybody had slaves. Everybody had a slave because if you can afford to have a slave and not do something yourself, you would. Okay, you would, especially if you knew that you can get away with it. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody be like, "Oh, but I don't understand why." But if
Bro,
you could have somebody do your labor for you, so you didn't do it, and everything else, so you didn't have to
the
do it.
richest man in the
Do it too.
world in the history of the world, the richest man in the history of the
That
world was a
Mansa
black
Musa.
man, and he
But
had
Yeah, Mansa
thousands of
Musa.
slaves. He had thousands of slaves. Like, what do
and
you mean?
why
He took
wouldn't you?
slaves from city to city, state to state, country to country. He was not playing.
Mansa
All they did,
Musa. Look, y'all do y'all history and look him up.
Mm-hmm.
all they did was change it. Like housekeepers, they're just like paid slaves. Servants,
Yeah.
slaves. Like it's still the same thing. I get enough money. I don't gotta clean my house up. Yes, I'm having
Oh
somebody
yeah, I'm
come
for
clean it.
sure getting a
Why
housekeeper. I'm
wouldn't
for
I
sure
want
getting a
that?
maid.
Why wouldn't I want
But
it?
But
see, a
it's
housekeeper
different. I'm
different from a
paying you.
slave, though. Housekeeper
Yeah,
different from a
it's a
slave,
little.
bro.
It's classier now. You get paid now.
Yeah,
It's different now.
I'm paying
But
you.
that's still
Yeah.
having somebody do something. So it's. I'm not saying. Now, don't get me wrong, because I can completely understand how this would sound. I'm not for slavery. I'm just saying, like, it was a common thing.
No,
You
slave.
know.
Everybody is a slave to something.
Thank
Every
you.
single person in this world is a slave to something. Whether that be a slave to your drugs, a slave to your school, a slave to your jobs. You know what I'm saying? Slave to your family. Everybody's a slave in some form of way. We just don't call it that.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a
And that's
job,
the
if you
big
have a
thing.
job, if you work at a government job, you clock in every single morning, work your 9 to 5. You are technically a
You know what
slave.
they
You
call that?
just What is
They,
that?
they call it coping.
The real slaves
You
is the
are
people in jail.
technically the real slaves is the what?
The people in jail.
I don't even. You could argue that as well. I don't think
Technically, they
that
still
all
work.
people. It.
They
Yeah,
do
I
work.
don't think everybody that's in jail are slaves.
Well, the
I
13th
don't.
Amendment, yeah, it basically do that
You're
where
a slave
it's you doing labor. They have you doing labor in jail
to the government.
while they're making bread.
Every jail has
Majority,
you
yeah,
doing something.
yeah,
Yeah,
majority of
Yeah.
yeah, it's part of the Constitution.
yeah.
Mm.
So
You're a
yeah,
slave.
that's why I said the 13th Amendment, where they made it a part of the Constitution. You go to jail, they're gonna make you do labor. That's why a lot of the
Free
jail
labor.
industry makes a lot of money. That's why
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, another black man, makes a lot of
He
money
owns
off the
jail.
jail cells. He
Yes,
makes a lot
yes.
of money off of the jail penitentiary. Like that's what be making your Jordans. Y'all be
That's
thinking it be the
another reason
Asian
why
people.
I'm
It
out
don't be the
Detroit
Asian
just a
people.
little
It be
bit.
the
You feel
motherfuckers
me?
in
Like I'm
jail.
right
I'm
over
telling
with
you.
Easy. You know, I like my Vans. Cause it was like, dang, Mike, we supposed to be cool. Like you supposed to be out here. It seemed like it's a great business, but it's like you ain't got lick of morals or nothing. And so it's like, yep, I won't. I'm done. You know, funding that. Plus, they probably only like $30 to make anyways, and they're like $125 in my size now. So
No, it'd
I'm
be
all
cheaper than that. It'd be way. Yeah, y'all be surprised
man.
how cheap it is to make things. How cheap it
But
is to buy things.
that's why I
People
think
think
people.
that you think that you can no, you can literally go on a website and buy any type of thing that you want in this world for not even what they sell it on retail.
Of course
Like,
not.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they making their money.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, those are the people who wholesale, but
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, or drop shipping, which is wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's a different. Ooh, that's money. We talk about money, but past that. But anyway,
You just gotta
yeah,
be careful, and that's why I think that the black community is the easiest community to be persuaded because they don't know a bunch of stuff and
I'm
they're
gonna be real
so
honest with
fucking
y'all.
emotional.
It's not even just a black community. If you really want to know who they aim for, it's black women.
Mm.
It's really black women. They really aim for black women, and I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's black
It's
women,
probably easy.
not even just black women. Women in total
I'm
make
about to
up
say it's
about
easy.
80. Women make up total of the consumer base about a good 80-90% of the consumer base. Y'all buy the most stuff. Men don't buy shit. So off rip, they know if we gonna get to anybody to make them persuade and buy and go look at the internet and go look on the TV and watch this and they know who's gonna get the emotional reaction. It's women. So they know who they gonna get to get the emotional reaction to go do something and go crazy about. It's black women.
And then the
So
men
they
will
go to
follow.
y'all first.
Damn.
Because it's easier. Y'all
Adam
don't
and
want to hear
Eve.
out.
Adam and Eve.
Just like,
Literally, the story of Adam and Eve.
They
well,
understand that
Look,
women
they
are
get the women
easier.
first before they got the
Because
men.
men are argumentative. We are immediately argumentative. We're gonna argue you if it sounds stupid. Like if it don't sound like it makes sense, we're gonna argue the fuck down. And nah, we're not
I
finna go
won't say
in
that. I
there.
think it depends.
Right.
Like, if you want
If
to see
say
that person
came
to
to
shut up,
Adam first,
no, I was about to say, like, if you want that person to shut up, you like, yeah, like that's how I feel like the wedding industry is so like booming. You make that
man,
woman
they
so
make so
emotional that
much
she just
money.
making choices. Homeboy gotta pay for it, but homeboy just want to make her happy. Homeboy want her to shut up. Nigga, you go from buying, you know, cupcakes shouldn't be $1,400. If that'll make her shut up and it's gonna make her happy on her happiest day, you gonna buy them fucking cupcakes for $1,400
Y'all
because
looked
why
it
not?
up. You looked it up. How much cupcakes cost? You looked.
Guess who sold it to him?
Look, Kayla trying to
Guess
get
who sold
married,
up the
girl.
prices to her?
I looked
Guess
it
No,
up.
I know I'm just talking junk. And I don't want a typical wedding. I want to elope and then I want a small reception for my family. If it wasn't for my family, we just do our own thing and we wouldn't even have a reception because that makes no sense to spend that money. For what good reason? I know how cupcakes
I'm
taste.
just saying
I
though,
don't want
like
it to be
I agree with you, right, with what you're saying, but look who do you think they sold those cupcakes to in the first place to make it be $1,400?
homegirl. I know who they sold them to.
Exactly. And then she gonna go tell her man. Her
Ooh, I
man gonna
like
be like,
that. I like that.
these are the ones
Ooh,
I
can we get
want.
the
And then you
buttercream
know
on top?
what?
Because
He gonna
it's
have to do it.
easier. It's easier. and he
You
don't want to
like,
hear
yep,
that, or he
yeah,
want to
you
make
can
her
get the
happy. So
buttercream.
Versus that man. Now imagine you would have came to that man first and said, "Yeah, these $1,400." He's
It's
like,
like,
"Boy, I can make these
why would you do that?
200.
right. You feel me? Nigga,
Why
I
would
could go
I
to
somebody
ate my
Johnny down the
cupcakes.
street. He could make me 200 for $50
What you
right now.
mean?
You
I
feel
call
me?
my mama right now. Should make me some cupcakes. What you
right
talking
Right
about?
now?
now.
You hear me?
Dude, you can go to
Actually, I
Publix
got
and
her
get
on
you
speed
some
dial. Let me call her
$12
real quick.
cupcakes.
Mom,
Mama, they
you
said
know they trying to charge
$1,400. Mama,
me
you
Actually,
$1,400
bump
for
it.
some
You can
cupcakes.
get some
I can pay
freaking
my mama
And it's
rent
cupcakes
not
for
even
right now.
that.
I can pay
$8.
the rent.
Special
Okay.
occasion stuff always costs more.
Come
Like
over
you
right
can have
now. I'll
baby
cook you some
showers.
right
You add baby
now. Yeah.
showers or something, and then that's gonna raise the roof. Depending on the days you get stuff, that's gonna raise. Nobody want to get married on certain days. Nobody want to have a baby shower on certain days. So it's cheaper throughout the week, but it's higher on the weekend. People got the game sold up. I have it my way, baby. All of that money we
Man,
could have spent on a
no.
wedding. Let's go to we don't want to go to Hawaii because of everything that's going on there. But let's go somewhere nice where I can chill out. I don't have to have none of this shit because it don't matter. Plus, ain't no way we spending all this money on a wedding coming back to an
Well,
apartment.
well, hold on. I mean, weddings are not just for the couples. Dude, I hope
Yeah,
you know that,
that's
right?
that's how you feel.
No, it's really not.
It's really
A
not. I'm gonna
wedding
be honest with
is
y'all.
not
It's
just
really
for
not.
the bride and the groom. It's for
It's
the
really
family
not.
as
It's for
well.
the families. You're
No,
Then
joining families
I
tap
together.
think
in on
You're
the
this
joining
bill.
is what I
family.
will
Tap
say.
in on the bill then. That's
This
what
is
I
You know what
what
I'm
I
say.
will
saying?
say. I think that
That's how they're
originally,
supposed
yes,
to.
that's
They
how it's
do.
supposed to be. But I think in our community, it doesn't work like that. Like I understand how it's supposed to work, but in our community, that's not how it works. So I'm not there paying for
I'm not.
XYZ to come. Like
We can argue that
in
too.
other
We gonna argue that one. I'm sorry. I don't agree with you on that one.
and
That
other
been in
cultures,
our community.
like they come through, they pay for stuff. It's beautiful. It's
We've
woofy
done
woo.
that.
How many weddings have y'all been to in y'all adult life?
Thousands. I mean,
Plenty
I
of
could
them.
say I've
Well,
been to hundreds of.
I'm not talking about
So
for work.
you don't count. You
Yeah,
Plenty
work.
like
of
I've
them.
been to hundreds of
You work
weddings,
Plenty,
in
yo.
that
plenty of
industry,
them.
sir.
Plenty
You
but
of
feel
them.
like
me?
Plenty
how
of
many
it.
Please
And
how
sit
many
plenty,
down.
people weddings have you been to where you actually like know them and you've gotten invited and like how
plenty
many
of them.
you've been to
Uh,
plenty?
pl-
I've
Plenty
been
of them.
on,
At
Yeah.
I
least
think
3.
5, but that was when I
Yeah.
was younger. Now I don't go out. I don't really hang with people like that.
And you
So
know who paid
I can
majority,
count on
and
my
you know who
hands,
paid, and
so
you
let's
know
just
who
say that.
paid for that wedding. You
Who
know who
pays for the
mostly
wedding?
paid for the wedding was the groom or either the groom or the bride's father paid
Mm-hmm.
for it.
That's how it's supposed
Their
to be.
parents paid for it. It was mostly like that. What happened was in our community, well, not even just our community. This is what I was saying earlier about how they went to black women first. They started telling y'all to be selfish as fuck about love. When they started telling
Mm.
y'all, oh yeah, it's about you. It's about you. It's not about the community, your family. No, 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 no. It's about you, girl. Don't worry about nothing else. So now y'all it grew into it. So now when women started growing into that of saying, okay, bet I don't have to worry about that. I don't care about the family. I'm doing this for myself. How many weddings have you seen where they got married and then they was still the wife who just got married would still do some shit on some thought shit? It was one video I seen where they got married and literally after the wedding they had the reception and she did like a whole little dance number for him in a thong and bra in front of everybody. The parents was there, her parents, his parents, kids, everybody that she is in a thong and bra
I
giving
think I
him a
heard
whole
about that. Yeah.
burlesque dance in front of everybody. And
Yeah.
she and everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's her wedding, this, that, and the third. It don't matter. Let her do what she want." And I'm like, "No, it's not just her. Your mama
What
here,
what
your daddy here,
what
everybody
was
here.
what was what
Black.
was
She was black. You already
oh
know."
Yeah,
no.
she was.
And it's like
Oh
why would
no.
you do that? Like why would you put yourself in that category? Well,
That's
it's her
disrespectful.
wedding. Is she happy in this and the third? So it shouldn't matter. I'm like, it's not just her wedding. She's not the only one who just got married in this scenario.
What I would say is no, because that don't even apply to me. Either way, go. Because I was about to say now, if you can only have input on something in my life, if you're financially inputting, but I don't desire to have anything big. Literally, I only want a reception so the families can meet and so my mama can get what she want out of this because she enjoys setting up and she enjoys XYZ. I can have it my way. We can throw something together in my mama's backyard. Whoever want to come can come. Whoever don't want to come don't gotta
It
come.
doesn't
We going
matter. Yeah.
out the country. We gonna do
See,
whatever
now
we want to do.
See,
That's it.
you can't say financially help you out and then say, okay, I'm gonna have it in my mama backyard, and then be like, well, you didn't financially help me, so
No, that's
therefore,
not what I'm saying.
da,
I
da,
said
da,
if I
da,
can
da.
if
Like
I can have it my way. Because I was about to say that if you help me financially, then you can have input. but I don't care about your input enough, so I don't care about your money enough because I never wanted XYZ, and he sure as hell don't care about having this little extravaganza or anything. So we just want something small, simple, and for us. And then the families can get together and do what they want to do if that's what they want
Yeah,
to
I
do.
would if it was me, which I definitely I'm the type of person where I don't think it's shit. I don't want no big extravagant thing. When I hear people say that, I always tell them, but just go to the courthouse and go get married. Like, it's no point of you doing a reception and doing all that extra stuff because your parents gonna want a piece of that, especially your mom. Your mom gonna
Mm-hmm.
always want a piece of that. She gonna, hey,
Yeah.
that's my daughter, or the dad. They gonna want to have a piece of that. This is my only time where hopefully that I could ever give my daughter off. So I want to make sure I got a piece of that and I'm a part of that some way
I
somehow.
don't have a father,
I'm
sir.
not
So
saying just you, Kayla.
nobody's
Everyone
shooting for
else,
that.
yeah, you're not the only person on this world,
He's
Kayla.
speaking. He's speaking for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody got somebody. I
Because
ain't
we were
saying
just talking
just
about my backyard and my backyard, my
because
backyard one.
because we was talking about that. You brought that up earlier about your
This is
backyard. That's
easy.
why I said that's why I said I tell people if they choose that because I'm the same way where I would say okay, just go to the courthouse and just go get
Mm-hmm.
married at courthouse and call it a
It's
day.
cheaper.
Man, I
And
mean,
then what you
it's
could do would be a lot cheaper, honestly, in my opinion,
But if you
is
ain't gonna
renew
do
your
that,
vows.
well, you gotta get married first before you do that. But
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is
oh,
like
you still
if
do
you
something
ever feel
big
like
for renewing your
that
vows.
urge to get all dressed up and be like, "Hey, let's be romantic and let's get married again."
Oh, so maybe I missed. Maybe I just didn't and get. Maybe I just didn't say it right. We gonna do. I'm not going to the courthouse. We gonna go either out the state for sure. It's nothing here that's like, oh my god, yeah, this is where I want it to be. So it's definitely gonna be out the state. If I can have it my way, out the country, which is me, him, the person that's gonna marry us, and a photographer, so we can send it back to our families, and then we're gonna stay out there for at least a week, and then come back, and then the families can do what they want to do. But we gonna go get our experience by ourselves because, well, we're doing this. Like, yeah, the families can
And
do it,
just do
but
something. Do something. I
I want
say,
a trip.
fam, like
Do a
do.
kickback.
Then do it. Then okay, you can do a trip. Cool, all that, and
That's it.
then bring the preacher, whatever, whatever. But you gotta have your fam. You gotta have somebody there, fam. That's can't just. That's your
That's what.
parents gotta be there. Your
I'm
parents
telling you,
gotta
the
be there.
first thing your mama gonna do is
Your
fucking
parents
cuss
have
you
to be
out
there.
at time.
Why didn't you bring me? Why
Like
didn't you
you
take
really,
me to see
Why
you
did
walking
you?
down the
Yeah,
aisle? Why you didn't do
she gonna
that?
be upset.
your
She
mom
gonna
would
be upset.
would definitely want to be there
To
She
for
watch
probably
your
gonna
when
give
that
daughter
me
get
goes down.
married,
feedback.
you think they don't
I've
want to watch
already
their
You think
told.
they
daughter?
not gonna want to watch
I
my
told
fam?
our families. Y'all can get the Zoom videos of when we say our I do's when we're out wherever we are.
You
Who's
gonna get
done?
cussed
She
out
said y'all
for
can get the Zoom.
years. They is not gonna let you live that
Y'all can.
down.
That's
I'm
No,
fine.
telling
sir,
you,
I'm
they're
bro.
telling you.
I
not.
can
And
sit
I'm
there
gonna be real with you. It's not even
because
just you, Kayla. It's not even
I
just
don't
you.
want to.
They
I
gonna
don't.
be
I'm not
mad at
a.
Richie if you do that. They gonna be mad at
Yeah.
Richie. They gonna let Richie
Mhm.
know, hey, you should have told her no and should have made that thing. And they gonna be mad at him for that.
Um, the way that
Mhm.
it's working right now, we're on the same page. And I really don't want to do something because of what everybody else wants. I've never been that person. So I'm not doing anything because what they would want. They should get married then. They should date and get married then if that's what you want. Now, what I will say
Not the
is,
same thing. That is not the same thing.
what I will say
It's
is,
not.
reception,
That's not the same
my mom
thing.
can have it. His mom can have it. Whoever wants to have it can have it. Y'all can decorate whatever y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. The reception has nothing to do with me. It's about them.
No,
But when
it
I
ain't
say
about the
my
reception.
dues and my everything
Not
else, it's about me and my homie. We gonna do what we gotta do.
exactly.
Bam. That's it.
That's that's cool.
I'm gonna
Reception.
record it for him.
Forget the reception. Forget the reception. No, no. Screw the reception. Reception don't have y'all don't have to do none of that. What I'm saying is when y'all actually say your I do's, your parents got to be there
I'm gonna have it on Zoom.
because that's
They want to be there. Your
they
mom
want
wants
to
to be
be
there
there,
with you when you pick
She
experience
your
want
that.
to
dress.
see you. She want
You
to
know what I'm
see you in a
saying?
dress. Say I do. Married man that you want to be with for the rest of your damn
And
life.
Richie mama gonna do the same thing,
They
and
will
his
Yep.
want.
pops
They
gonna
will
want the
see.
same thing.
No,
They
it's
don't
funny
want to
They
see.
because
No,
don't
no,
want
no, 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 no,
to
no, no.
see it.
They
They
don't
I
want
got
want
to
to
him a
see
be
it
there
over
ring.
the
and
camera.
experience it
They
with
don't want to
you.
see it
Share
over
It's
the
that
camera
memory.
on the video. They want to see it in person.
They want to see it
funny.
right there with you.
I got him a ring and it can only fit his ring finger. And his mom was like, y'all when they got married? And he was like, nah, why you ask me that? And she was like, because that seems like something you do. And I was out of town, so he like related. And I was like, y'all mama really think we just go off and elope, huh? He was like, yep. And I was like,
Cause
boom,
that's what
that's
you
it
just
right there.
said.
I mean,
This was a minute ago.
That doesn't
This
mean
was,
that is right. That doesn't mean that is right. It's something that you would do. That doesn't mean that that's what you should do or that is right to do.
no, that's because she knows her
Right.
child. Like she knows her son. At first, like I
Mm.
always thought it'd be like, okay, this big old whoopie whoop. Because I had to like I think it's cool. Like I've always wanted my sisters to be in. I've always wanted like my mom talk me down. But then as I get older, it's just like I think I wanted that for them and not for me. I know what I want for me, and that's just not something to do. I think it's the fairy tale of it all. Like, oh my god, and you see it, and it's like movies and whoopie whoop. But it's just like I don't want it. I don't
yeah,
want it.
I
I
feel
just
you.
don't want it.
I feel you.
I just don't
They
want it.
ain't got. They ain't got to walk you down that aisle. They just. She
I'm
just want to
saying
be
they ain't
there.
gotta do all that. They just want to
She
No,
be
just
no,
there.
gotta.
no. That's
She
not what
just want
she's
to be
saying. What
there.
she's saying is like, oh, it's so it looks fantastic. It looks so amazing. But realistically, once you get into it, once you do all that and all the work for it, you realistically tired when you get to the altar. Like when you
And that's
on
why
the
when you
day
soon as
of,
you
you
say to
are
my dudes, walk
exhausted.
down that aisle, walk into your car, that's it. That's it. We're done. We can go on the rest of our lives. No, we don't have to have a reception. Because right after we say our I do, so as we walk down, say, I do, kiss, blah, 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 get in the car, we
At,
gone.
at
Cause I
that
was about to
point,
say,
at that
Honeymoon
we
time,
point,
can.
you feel me?
once I
Cause
say
I was
I do,
even
I'm
saying
passing
like,
out
Right,
because
that's
I had
it.
to get the caterer,
we
had
can
to freaking
re-show
find
at the What's the
fucking
good.
place,
You
had
didn't
to
have to worry about
find
none of
my
that.
dress, had to
But
go
see,
through all this
you
and
wouldn't
make
have
sure
to
it was
worry about none
okay.
of that.
You didn't have to
Worry
do none of
about
that.
none of
You
that if
didn't
you
do
had them
none of that.
people involved. If you
You
let your
went
mama and them help you, you wouldn't have to worry about none of that.
I ain't
and
gonna
Unfortunately,
lie,
not
it's
even
just
just none of that. You ain't
if
even
my
gotta
mom
wear
had
no
it her
tux, no
way,
dress, no none of that. Just like you said, go to the courthouse or you go out of town. You take your preacher with you, the person who's going to confirm that y'all getting married, your parents, and then once they say y'all say y'all do, your parents see that you got married. Then y'all can go in y'all separate ways or whatever y'all want to do afterwards. But
that's
at
probably
least
what
your
I'm probably
parents
gonna do. And then if I
got the
ever get
experience.
spontaneous, I'll just, hey, let's renew our vows. Let's basically do it as if we were just getting married, but let's renew our vows since we're all set, since we're settled down, and we got time and money for it. Let's
I'll
do
say
that.
this, right? If you was to do something like that, I'd say if it was me, I would say, okay, we can go to the courthouse, but eventually we gonna have a get together with all our family and have that conversation and have
Mm-hmm.
that celebration as a whole. Because the fact that we left them again, it's not just us marrying, it's our families coming together too.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're making two family trees into one. So now if we gonna sit here and do that, it has to be some type of respect to the fact that we decided to intertwine our family trees together. So give them that respect and that courtesy. And you got to remember back in the times why black expect. That's why I say in our community, I don't like when people say in the black community in our culture, marriage and family being a part of your marriage isn't a thing. I hate when we say that because that's not true. Back in the day in slavery, we couldn't even get married legally.
Mm-hmm.
The way that that's how we came together more harder and more basically of trying to want to get married by jumping the broom and doing things culturally that we did of marriage to prove and show our marriage and bringing together. So we have cultural things that we could use and do. We stopped doing them because it didn't fit into our what we wanted in our own selfish ways. That's why I say a lot of times we don't understand that this is bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
When you choose to put a whole family together and having a family, that's bigger than you now. This ain't just about you no more. This is about us as a team, as a group, as a family. And if we don't
Your family
understand that,
problems is now my family
it's now
problems, and
my
my family
family problem.
problems is your family problems.
You feel
And
me?
if
I'm
there's something
liable for you.
going on,
I am liable for you just as much as you are liable for me. Like I can't sit here and play that game, and so is my family, and so is your family. So therefore, if something happens to you while you with my mama, guess what? There's a problem here. We got to figure out what's going on. If I'm with some people of yours and something happened to me, so we got to figure out what's going on here. It comes with the territory, but people be forgetting that they coming into it so selfishly. In my opinion, it be coming in so selfishly of thinking about themselves that you forget that it's a whole other group of people involved in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wasn't by yourself when you was having problems and calling your mama or calling your people about your problems and telling them about what was going on. You wasn't by yourself when you was in the house with them and y'all was arguing and they had to sit there in awkward quietness listening to y'all argue all goddamn day.
We was by
You feel
ourselves.
me? Like, so it's like
We talking about-
you gotta give
I'm
them
like,
that
hold
though.
on.
Respect.
Ooh,
You feel me? Like
ooh-wee.
all the time y'all came
Just
in there
sitting
being
at the table
lovey-dovey.
still.
I'm sorry. I deserve an invitation to your wedding. Y'all know how many times y'all got on this camera and did all y'all little lovey-dovey crap. I deserve an invitation.
Right. I ain't gonna let y'all lay that down for
I
That's
deserve an
another
you.
thing.
invitation.
You hear us?
We
You
met
hear us?
so many people recently, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, when's the wedding?" And it's like, "Oh my god, I hate to tell you guys that like." At first, it was like, "Oh my god, half of y'all not coming,"
I,
and then it's just like to eliminate because I think that if it was to be like a ceremony and we did invite people, it literally be
Dietyeradio
about
has to come.
it'll literally be about 15 people there. Like I think that is so sacred that like anybody just couldn't bring somebody. Not for the reception, we're just having a good time. We celebrating, cool. You can bring a plus one. You can do all of that. But for a ceremony, I think that that's really, really like sacred. And it's just like now that's for the people that like stuck it out with us. People like
Like
we talked about
Dietyeradio.
actually,
boom. We talked
here's a
about
great
stuff. Whoopty
example.
whoop. And I've
Well, I'm
always
gonna
been
let you
like,
finish
I
up.
always wanted to do a
Okay.
destination wedding. So I always thought like it'd be really small anyways. And then I was just like, I just really prefer to elope and then everybody can come and celebrate our love with us. Like boom,
Here's
everybody bring it all together. Boom.
it's
But
a
I want
great
to
And
see
I
you
don't
in the
say
example of
I
dress
don't
what
like
though.
elope because I love you guys too. You guys be safe. I don't understand elope because I feel like it's like this little secret little situation.
yeah, because that's what that means. That's what that
Yeah.
Yeah.
elope
So
means.
it's
You're
not
getting
yeah.
married without anybody knowing.
So it wouldn't be without
That's what
anybody
that
knowing.
means.
It's like, hey y'all,
That's what that
we
means.
about to go get married. I'm gonna come back married. And that's it. So I hate the word elope because it's like secret, but it wouldn't be a secret. It would just be the four of us.
It'd just be a small wedding. That's yeah.
We
Just say it's
fly
a
out
small wedding.
we fly out our videographer, photographer to like capture everything so that our parents or whoever else can see it and everything else. Um, and then we gotta take the pastor with us because why not?
You
But yeah,
yeah.
like
Well, you
I
have
if I
need
can
to
have
to.
it my way,
personally be there to see you in the dress. I'm sorry. I will fly out. I will take off. I don't care. I'm coming.
it's not that
Plus,
deep.
I
Nah,
need a
I'm
gal in the
coming.
house anyway.
It
Come, I
is
ain't gonna
that
lie.
deep,
I want to
fam.
be like Country Wayne. I want to be like Lil Drip. I'm gonna come in there like Drip. I'm gonna come. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kayla, you sure you want to do this, Kayla?
She sure. Shut up.
Richie, you feel me? We it's a lot of things going on here, my boy. You sure you want to do that, my boy?
She sure. Leave her
But
alone,
Kayla, though,
Yeah,
man.
my
for
boy.
real,
I'm just saying,
here
yo,
my
I fuck with you, Jock. You don't want to do that, Jock.
I was mad at my homeboy. Like I was very, very upset at my dog because I found out that he got married when I went over his crib. I didn't know he was he never spoke to anybody. He never said anything to anybody about that he was getting married. I went over his crib and then all of his family was over there. So I'm like, I'm thinking we chilling. And then they say like, "Oh yeah, congratulations, congratulations." I'm like, "What y'all saying congratulations for?"
Yeah.
And it was like, "Well, he just got married today." Da,
Yeah,
da, da,
like,
da, da. I
just give
was
me
like,
like 2 minutes
"What, bro?
before.
You dog didn't say nothing to me. He didn't say nothing at all."
No,
And I'm
don't
seeing
leave.
pictures and
Just
videos of his ceremony, and it was literally it was him, his immediate family, it was him, his parents, his girl's parents, and her little family, and they did it right after church. Literally after the church service was over, they held the little ceremony, and then after the ceremony, everybody was gone, and everybody came back to their crib, and they had a little reception party area or whatever. But it was very small. It wasn't. It was really only like 5-10 people there, and they held it. It was real easy. It was them, the pastor, and their little family. It wasn't
y'all,
that many people, and they did that.
let's
But we getting
I was gonna say
way,
let's
way,
wrap
way
this
off.
up and then we can
You know what I'm
FaceTime
Yeah,
saying?
and
we
Yeah,
talk
way
yeah,
about
off
yeah,
different
yeah,
things.
topic.
yeah, yeah.
And we
And
overtime.
it's
I
past
don't
that
even know
little
how we got
crunk
to this
term right
part.
up
You
there.
feel me? But we done had a great conversation, y'all,
We
and
did.
we
Mm-hmm.
hope that y'all learned some things and that you took our side of how we feel about certain situations that we've talked about today, and apply them to your everyday life, not just
Let me get a recap and some final thoughts, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say that everybody misconstrues the definitions of prejudice, racism, and oppression. A racism is you think that you're better than that race or that person overall. It doesn't matter what they think. You don't mean they don't mean nothing to you because you're better than them. That's what racism means. Oppression, I mean, prejudice means you're prejudging them before you even meet them. You think that this is who they are or this is what they think before you even get to know them or know that person or that community, culture, whatever. Oppression is a prolonged period of time where you're treated cruelly or unjust.
Mm.
And that those are the three definitions, or the definitions for those three words. People definitely get those mixed up. Now, what did y'all take out of this?
We need to stop
I
taking our
learned also learned
emotions
that
like a
Kayla.
friend.
I also learned that Kayla is wanting to get a small marriage and she don't want nobody at her shit. You know what I'm saying? She don't want nobody there. She just want to get married by herself. Look, she's screaming. She's screaming.
She
She
on mute.
muted.
No, because that's what I mean. Like nobody, because I would hate to be like, oh, well, my mom, his mom, this friend, and that friend can come, but nobody else can. Be like, oh, well, why does that friend get to come, and the other friends don't get to come? So to eliminate any extra stuff,
It'd be too many
ain't
people trying to come.
nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming. I
It's
see y'all at the
y'all
reception.
wedding. Y'all get to say who get to come and who don't. If you
I'm
don't
gonna
We
come,
at
if
the
you're not
reception.
allowed to come, you should not care. It doesn't
I
matter.
just don't want to
You know what
hear
I'm
about it
saying?
though. Like you know how
In a week, be like, invite me to the wedding.
literally, I don't want to hear about it. It'd be so much easier if I just say we not having more. Meet us at the reception, and then y'all can come have a funky good time. But y'all gonna eat how
Let the
we.
reception be a family reunion. That's how it sounded like.
Yeah,
But
that's what.
we're gonna talk about that later.
Anyway, recap,
That's what it
recap,
sounded. It sounded like a
recap.
family reunion.
So Kayla doesn't want nobody at her wedding. I don't care what she says. I'm still coming.
I mean,
Anyway,
okay, hold on. Can we get final thoughts about the topic that we spoke
I'm
about?
trying you to get to it. I said anyway, and then you cut me off. Oh shit! Damn it, man! I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it. We need to stop taking our emotions out of like racism and being oppressed. Being oppressed has done nothing for us. It continues to do nothing for us. Why choose to be that? Acknowledge that we're being oppressed. Acknowledge that we're not being oppressed, and acknowledge that you just want to play the victim. But realistically, you're not getting any benefits because you're not a victim. No one sees you as a victim because you're not being oppressed. Like Saul said, that is something that has happened over a course of time, continuously. That has not happened with our generation. That has not continued to happen with the next generation. Yes, racism is still there, but we're not being oppressed. We also learned that marriage is not just the two people who are getting married. You are combining your families. And initially, it's for everybody. Your family and you and your spouse. That's what I learned for today.
Z, what you learned?
What you learn? Nigga?
Actually, no, you're gonna close it out.
He
I already
already
said what I
said
said.
what he learned.
Oh, you
It's
said
your
what you said?
turn.
Oh, it's Kayla's turn. I said what I said. I said first.
No, it's Z's turn. Z didn't say what
Oh
he
yeah. No, let's Z close it out. We're gonna let Kayla go
Okay.
Let
next.
me close it
Cause
off.
you gonna talk for a while, so I already know what you're
That's
gonna say.
not true. I don't
So
appreciate
good.
it.
All right, Kayla, what
It
you
wasn't.
think about this?
I think it was just a really good reflection. Like we all be on the same page for real with a lot of stuff. So it was just nice to know that like we all was kind of on the same page with this.
You're always supposed to have like-minded folks around you.
Well, it's nice to
You
have
are
like
if you are a group of
but
5 people, if you have 5 friends, you are the 6th person that acts just like those 5 friends. I put up 7.
I wouldn't
You are
say
the
all of that,
byproduct of
but
those 5
You wouldn't
friends.
want that. I would not want
That's
that.
that's
it's
what I meant
nice
to
to
say.
like be on the same page sometimes, and not have to be like. It's nice to have openness too, but in this conversation alone, like we was all on the same page, like we all, and I love the fact that it's like I don't have a victim mindset. Like it's not that we don't understand, but it's just like it's okay. Like not that it's okay, but it's just like it's not happening. Like we're gonna be okay. We'll be fine. Yes, it did
Mm-hmm.
happen, but we okay right now. Like let's just build and be the best people we can be right now without having to be victims all the time. So I like that. Wedding topic, completely off topic, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Um,
Oh, and then we talked about Kanye.
and Kanye, I love me some Kanye. I don't always agree with everything he says, but I don't feel like he be lying when it comes to certain stuff. But for the stuff that I
It's
don't
not
know,
made for us to agree. It's made for us
I just
to
don't talk.
actively acknowledge the truth. But
Yes,
yes, we love us some Kanye. Continue doing you, Kanye. If you ever watch this shit.
Continue doing you, Kanye.
Smoking
cause
is
Yes,
ready to
nobody,
sir.
go. I swear to
nobody
God.
be.
Right.
Smoking is ready to go. She
He
tried to
said
kick us.
Kanye gonna be Kanye.
Yeah.
It's his shows.
Smoking
I'm
like I gotta
sorry.
go to bed.
I'm
Uh,
sleepy. I got a bedtime.
All
Let's
right,
go,
Z, close
Z.
us out, fam.
Yeah,
I
close
don't know
this
what y'all
out,
want me to
man.
say. What y'all want me to say?
Go ahead and
What
give
did
us
you
10
think?
more minutes.
What was your take? What did you learn?
Yeah, what
Well,
was
just
your
give us a
review?
recap of
Yeah,
I
what you
learned.
learned
I
today.
learned all y'all some idiots. Okay.
bro.
All y'all is stupid. It's stupid.
You
You right
didn't
along
even
there
take
with
that
us.
shit
Y'all is stupid.
seriously. He said we are stupid.
And
Nah,
stupid though. No, you
It's
you right along there with us, fam.
Yup,
If we stupid, you stupid too, cause you right there.
yup.
shut up.
He ain't got no comeback.
Shut up. Hey,
It's
but
stupido dos.
What else you learned, fam?
um, everything was this was a good show. I ain't gonna lie, we had good times. I think definitely people need to get into the habit, especially in our community. We need to start getting into the habit of really stop listening to BS just because we see people say it with a straight face, and
Mm.
at the same
Yeah.
time know how to listen to somebody even if you disagree with them. As in, you might disagree with them fundamentally, but that doesn't mean what they said isn't necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to listen to rebuttal or listen to argue, listen for understanding and understand that
Right.
everything you're not always the smartest person in the room. And if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Okay.
Yep.
When it came to
God
Kanye,
gave you 2 ears to hear and one mouth to talk. You were supposed to listen more than you speak.
yes,
Mm.
yes, Uncle Saul. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right.
But with
Continue.
Kanye, um, Kanye is Kanye, so I'm not gonna ever sit here and act like Kanye ain't been told us from the very first album that he dropped was, yeah, I'm fucking narcissistic as hell, and or I have arrogance. I'm very arrogant and I'm very confident in what I do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always been him, and I don't disagree with him for speaking something strongly if he felt that way, or and if it came with facts, that speak strongly about it. Again, he's not the first artist to speak on that way and that type. So like people got to understand that that's why I say you really have to research and know what you're listening to and hearing when you hear people speak on certain things. Um, Now I'm not gonna talk about the wedding thing. Y'all keep that to yourself. Matter of fact, I got later for the wedding thing. I got you. I
Oh
got
my.
y'all. I got y'all. But yeah, like I said, people just need to learn. Our community needs to get out of the oppression state. We are way too oppressed, and I feel like, and like I said earlier, if the black women in our community understood that they're aiming at y'all to get to everywhere else.
I
They can't
totally forgot
they
that.
can't get the black men without y'all. They gotta get through us by going through you. So they're gonna give
Mm-hmm.
y'all every way and everything out of it to get you to understand and for making you feel like and putting you in this emotional state of always in oppression. So if we learn that as a community to understand we are not as messed up as we think, and there's a lot more opportunity for us to get resources versus us complaining about them, we can get further in life. But we have a problem. We have that tendency of wanting to be the oppressed people in the room. We want to tell the sad story. If anybody gonna tell the sad story in the room, it's gonna be us, and we have to get out of that. And I feel like hopefully when more people come in and come watch us and pay attention to us, y'all get a little to learn a little bit more about that, man, and figure that out and understand, life ain't about that. It's too much going on out here to be worried about it. I definitely kind of agree with what Kayla said too about the classism thing, about how things are definitely based off of that a lot, where people want to be in different classes, especially like countries like India, where that's a big thing. Classism is a huge thing in India. So like it's definitely a thing where, like I said, people just have to understand that it comes with the territory. All of this classism, racism, all the isms go together. Okay, all of
They could.
classism. So it's just like, just be real with it. But
Just
this
be
is
real with me.
another little episode of Dietyeradio, man.
Yeah, y'all
We
should definitely
great
subscribe
things.
for some more.
We just been out here doing a lot, everybody's been doing stuff. We missing a couple people, but they'll be here another time. This was one to chill. We ain't had a chill one like this in such a long time. I'm not even gonna lie. This was a chill one.
This was chill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this was chill.
No, for real. It's a lot chiller than what we normally be coming.
Oh
Normally,
yeah,
this
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
chill. This was
I would
chill.
definitely agree. I would definitely agree.
Yes, it was.
Ooh-wee. I can
So
already
Especially
imagine some
talking
people
about
on
a
the
very
show. Specific people. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
especially talking about this topic.
I'm
But yeah,
dead.
I will agree. I agree. It just
I
took me
wasn't
a
gonna
while.
do that. Okay, man. Y'all have a
I
good
didn't
one.
say no name.
Are we gonna have a good one? Y'all peace out. Dance off, y'all. Y'all dance off right now. We
Hold
not
on, we
fucking
go.
with song.
Let me turn up the music.
We not fucking with song right now. You not
Oh,
finna
this
put
ain't
it
on.
on.
Yeah, we go live
This is
every
not turn
Wednesday,
up
so
music.
follow us on Twitch,
Hold up, yeah, I'm about to
subscribe
look
to
up some.
YouTube,
I'm about
It's
to
too
look
late
up.
now.
follow on
It's too late
Hold
now.
Instagram.
on, no,
Yeah, follow us on
it's
Twitch,
not too late.
Instagram,
All our
social,
stuff is below.
YouTube.
Come on, man. Come on, what y'all doing?
Oh
You know,
yeah, y'all see my Instagram? It's at the bottom of the screen. It's right there. You see it coming across. It's right next to
Yeah, you
Combat
see,
Pretty.
you see, you
And
see.
next, but you can follow me on Instagram at official.saw. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Dietyeradio. Make sure y'all follow us on. I know they already said it. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. We're gonna have a Snapchat soon. Maybe not Snapchat, but we're gonna have a Twitter. We might have a Discord. Y'all stay tuned
TikTok.
for all that,
We
man.
got Twitter.
TikTok.
TikTok.
You know what I'm saying?
TikTok.
Make sure y'all follow us on all of our social medias. And with that being said, we are about to be out. So,
Bye.
no.